once your rendering is done. When your rendering is done, if you go into your directory, which in this case is on Roto, which is the Z drive, 3D Rock, render pictures, those are the captures for those quick captures. These are the actual renders themselves. And you'll see they're a sequence of images. If I step down, you should be able to see the icons. I also can do this. It will show me when I get down there. Will hopefully show me these actual TIFF files. See them? Default pass main. So these are individual image files. They should probably each be about 4 or 5 megs, which is right. When they all write in, you can actually scroll through it and get some idea what we're talking about here. Now we have to assemble these into a movie. We have a number of choices for this. I'm going to show you After Effects because I think it's the quickest. I think. What do you think, Rajiv? Probably? Yes? Okay. I'm going to go to After Effects. You could also do this in Photoshop, strangely enough. You could do it in Premiere. There's a few, I think you could possibly do it in Media Player Classic, but I'm not certain. I know it works in After Effects. What we have to do here is we have to take the files in, we have to compress them into some sort of movie file and then send them to YouTube. So I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to hit close, and I'm going to go to Composition, New Composition. I know that I want to be 1280 by 720. 24 frames per second is right. My sequence length was going to be 30 seconds, so 32 is fine. I'm going to hit OK. Now, I want to point something out to you here. I only rendered, I think, 120 of these frames so far. I would have to wait. I would have to render more of them. I don't want tiles. I want details. If we go down here, we can see that. I've rendered up to 168, and maybe I got 200. No, 200. Do you see how 200 is the wrong size there? That means it's garbage. I'm going to delete it. Anything that is 1K is not the right size. So I only have 168 of them, but it's enough for me to show you what's going on with it. I'm going to go here. I'm going to import file. I'm going to go to that same drive, my Z drive. I'm going to go 3D Rock. I'm going to go Render Pictures. And I should be able to find the first one, which is there. And now see how it says TIFF sequence? I hit open. And there are 2 frames that went bad. That's okay. I'm going to have it guess and hit OK. And this now should be my sequence. Now note something. That says 30 frames a second. I want these to be 24. So I'm going to have to modify that. Let's assume 24. Okay. So it's saying it has 7 seconds of footage, which is probably about right. Let's drag it over. And this is the first time we would ever possibly see it. You know what? I should shrink this down because I won't be able to see that part of my screen otherwise, like that. Good. That's better. Although I have to move a couple things around here. This is just, you know what I bet I can do? I bet if I switch my workspace. Yeah, that's a little happier. Okay, so I have 7 seconds here. I'm actually going to reduce my work area. And when I hit this button and I let these load in, this is the first time I'm going to see the actual animated thing. That was one of the missing frames. I'll actually show you how to deal with those. It's a dirty trick from the annals of animation that we're going to use to deal with those. A trick I've actually used on many movies you've probably seen. Remember, this isn't the real-time one yet. When it gets to the end, that will be the real-time one. So this is the real-time 24 frame per second thing. There's those 2 flash frames in there. I want to deal with those flash frames because they distract otherwise, right? Here's the dirty trick. Anybody ever seen the movie Copland? Oh, good. It doesn't surprise me that you didn't. It wasn't a great movie. It wasn't an awful movie, but it was a big budget movie.
It was good.
It was what?
Family Yoda's always good.
It has an excellent cast. It really does.
Storyline's a little.
The storyline was ridiculous. What's going to happen here is there's going to be some number of these where the sequence is wrong. There are ways I can actually find it better than just hunting for them like this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use those ways. If I go down here to After Effects, and I check in my timeline, especially if I show my timeline by frames, I'm going to look for where those missing ones are. There was one. There they are, right there. It is at what time here? It is at 2 seconds, 13 frames, so 2 seconds is 48. 58, it's about 61. So if I look here at about 61, I'm going to see a sequence mess up. 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 63. I'm missing a 62. The reason I bring up Copland, I did this in Copland. I did this in Copland a number of times because we were missing some frames. I'm going to take this frame here, I'm going to make a copy of it. And now I should have a new thing called copy of, actually I probably have to paste it. Paste. A new thing called default pass main 63 copy. I'm now going to rename this main 62. Not copy.
And no one's the wiser.
Nobody's ever complained about it in that movie, I know that. Now I'm going to look for the other one. It's a scene that there's a stuffed animal in a car and there were some dissolve problems. And I, as the supervisor, decided, rather than re-render all that and take another 2 days, we're just going to rename a couple frames. Nobody's going to know the difference. Let's see here and hunt for that other one. If that was at 61, come on, back to me here. If everything rendered perfectly, we wouldn't have these problems. But like most things in life, it doesn't go perfectly. Not most things, like many things in life. There was one. Where's my other? It's earlier, I bet. Okay, we'll go through this again. I'm going to zoom out. I know that first one was about 2 seconds somewhere in here. And we'll just start playing. That was the one. Probably have to go back. There's a nice thing about this. This may have already picked up. Nope, there they were. It's right around there somewhere. Let's step ourselves backwards. There it is. 53 is what it's looking for. So we're missing 53. That's actually nice. I didn't realize it told me that. Which means if I look here in my sequence, 53, 53, 53. There we go. We go 51, 52, 54. I'll take 54 and I'll copy and paste that one. There should be create a copy somewhere. Although, let's just do copy and paste. Paste, 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 paste. Nope, maybe it didn't take it that time. We will make copy, copy, and then we will just Control V it, which gives me that. And now I'm going to rename this one 53. Okay, now I'm going to head back down here to After Effects. I am going to go to my footage, which is not there. It should be, let me find my footage window. Bin. You know what, let's go back to that. Good. If I go here, I should be able to go reload footage. And look at that, magically there's a frame there. Now let's go back here to our standard, why not? Good. And I'm going to hit play again. And now we should see that sequence without. It will take a second to load in again. Not a second, a little bit longer. But you'll see there'll be no breaks in it. That's the important part. I want to fix up any problems I have here. I also, if I'm in After Effects, and I know After Effects, I can do things like put titles, I can put sound, I can do any of that stuff, fades, dissolves, that sort of thing. I think one of the common mistakes that happens in 3D, that people think if they're looking at a 3D movie, that they would render like one scene and then another scene and another scene and another scene, and they don't do that. They could render 20 scenes together because they know they're all going to end up in a compositing program where they're going to edit it all together in the end anyway. So this is where you can fine-tune all that. You can do dissolves from scene to scene. You can do all that stuff here. I bet you the frame rate, I just want to make sure about this, that the frame rate is coming in at 24. Okay. This, let's say I was happy with this. I now want to output it. I want to get this on YouTube for people to see. I'm going to, let's go back to our animation settings, and I think I can close this panel somehow. Yeah, well, that works. This one over here, I'm also going to pull over there, and I'll pull that over there. And good, we have a little more room now. I'm going to output this composition. I'm going to go composition, add to render queue. I first click the yellow words here. Frame rate's good, quality best, 1280 by 720, good. I'm going to click this one, which is the most important one to click actually. I want to make this a MPEG 4. Probably. Let me see if this will give me the right options. That all looks happy to me. That all looks good. Although this worries me, settings mismatch. You see that has a stupid limitation on it. What do I want? H.264 Blu-ray will work, I believe. Yes, 1280 by 720. Okay, that tells me what it's going to output it to, Comp1 MV4. I could rename it. I could name it, I'm going to name it Title Bit 1. And actually, I'm going to put it somewhere easier to find too. I'm going to put it loose in my C drive. And then from here, I would hit render again. Now this would do its render process, which is going to make the movie file actually. Good, that little magic sound means it's done. I now want to check it. This is it. And actually, it strikes me these players can't play it because of some weird issues with it. Will Media Player? No, I don't think it will. But you know what will play this? I'm quite certain. YouTube.
Of course.
Yes, YouTube's very good at taking these things. And remember, I've seen a number of job places these days that actually just ask directly for your links. They don't want anything else these days. So you have to make sure your stuff's available. You can make it available on Vimeo anywhere you want, but...
Again, the good thing about Vimeo...
Yes?
Get the Pro account. It's worth $60. You can do all HD. But you can put in your personal name, and you can label your URLs. And instead of them having to go to YouTube, you can go to Vimeo / 3D Project.
There may be some advantages to that, though the disadvantage is the money.
$60 a year.
Well, right, but that's right. Yes, and
it's your career, and it looks more professional.
A point John is making is that many of the high-end places do release their stuff to Vimeo. That's where you see a lot of it.
And I'm telling you from experience, if it takes more than 3 clicks, they're on to the next person.
Yeah,
I see it all
No,
the time
you make a
on set.
point, but there are, you can path this so it works better.
And you can make your own channels on Vimeo. It's just...
Here's our full screen. This is actually playing back from YouTube now, just so we can see it. And actually, you'll note, this is the low quality one. It might not have gotten our high quality one yet, but it will get it over time. But this is how we get stuff up. Again, you can use Vimeo, you can use any other service, but we have to be able to see it online for you, for me to know, for anyone to know that you did it.
Professor,
Yes.
How soon will this be up on YouTube?
This is now. You guys could go to your computer right now, and then the point John's making is that this is a ridiculously long title, which it is.
Yeah.
I could, and just for kicks, you see I have no views yet. Why should I? If I go to this video myself, which will be here, and I hit, there should be a share on here somewhere. Well, you know, here we go, share. If I go to share, they give me this link. There should be a way to make the link shorter too. But if I took this right now and I were to email it, you know what, Christian, I have your email, so why don't I do that? Compose to, bet Christian will come up, yep. YouTube link. And then from here, I can actually do a number of things. I'm going to just paste it like that. And I can also do this. Here is a video 3D sample. And then this is maybe a little way too much Google stuff, but it's all there. I could just link it to it that way too. And if I send that to you, you should now be able to click on that and get that. And anybody else can too. There's several reasons why I want you guys to have your stuff up. One of the more important is that all of you, if you ever want to get a job anywhere or apply to another school, have to make demo reels. And one of the biggest problems we have in here is people lose their stuff. If you have it up on YouTube, you can get it back down again when you want to assemble it. You don't have to share it if you don't want to, but you have to make it available. Number two is that if you're working in this field, the point of this field is showing things to people. The weird thing about these programs, like everything you do in this program is like it's a mock-up. It's like a fake until you render. Rendering is like the printer. It's a matter if you used Quark or you used InDesign, but you never printed. That's what doing 3D is without rendering. And then once you render, all you have is this big sequence of files. You then have to actually put them together and put the titles and do all the other stuff. And then you have to get people to watch it. And here's the really upsetting part. All the work we've done, and it's a lot, I'm not going to kid you. The fact you've gotten this far is amazing. All the work you've done to get a finished something done is about half as much work as it takes to actually get people to watch it. Once you make it, like it's not like you just put it out there and people flock to it. You then actually have to go through this other process. My brother, who's a director, used to do a thing where he would make a short film. He would set aside like $3,500 just to apply to festivals. And festivals used to cost about 25 to 50 bucks a festival. He would apply to 100 or 200 film festivals. And the reason he did it was he'd be rejected from 90% of them, but he would get into some of them. And then the ones he would get into, if he won, which he did win a few, he would get a lot of attention from. And it was, I wish I'd thought of it. It was a good idea. There are other opportunities now. There are online opportunities. There are places, there are forums, there are things you can contact. But once you get it made, you then have to get people to look at the damn thing. And it's a startling reality to find out that that's about as hard as making it, just so you know.
So what about the tutorial itself?
This tutorial here, which I will now end,